Right, for recording purposes, this is me, Dr. Sama, and this is EA300B, and this is our last leg on this half journey, a lovely half journey, because obviously we have a lot ahead after we finish the midterm. How far did we go? We did the picture books, and we also did the other side of truth. And the exam is it on the 29th, Rima? صح
Yes,
ولا
it's on Saturday.
ممتاز. طيب,
Yeah, yeah.
طيب, how far or how much do you think you guys are ready? Do you think you're ready for the exam? And how do people get ready for midterms and finals? So if you're ready, I mean, if you have done your homework, which means that you have read and perhaps went over your notes and everything in between, raise your hands. So let me see a show of hands. If you're ready for the midterm, if the midterm is now, in an hour, perhaps, how many of us um, are ready? If the midterm is an hour from now. محدش معقول. Are you sure you can hear me?
Yes, doctor, we can.
Okay. طيب. معلش يا ديالا, if it's a procedural question, can we keep it until later? معلش, can I ask you to drop your hand?
No, doctor, I raise my hand because you ask us if we are ready for MTA. That's why I'm raising my hand.
ممتاز. Okay, thank you. So obviously, Diala is the only person who is ready. So, which is a little bit strange. I mean,
I'm
perhaps,
ready
yeah.
too. I'm ready. Sorry, doctor.
ممتاز.
Sorry, I didn't open my microphone because my child is next to me and I was afraid he will bother you.
That's fine. Okay, Nash. Thank you. طيب. Okay. So let's talk about the midterm in terms of format. I'm sure you have asked other people who did the course before, and you know it in and out. But we normally have like short answers, and of course you have a couple of essay topics that you need to choose to write on one. Short answers. If it's yeah, let's agree on how short a short answer should be. I don't expect a couple of lines. Make no mistake about it. So the more the merrier, like they say. I mean, I don't get myself as a marker restricted to like half a paragraph or even a paragraph. I would like you to write, but not an essay. You don't, in a short answer question, you don't write a whole essay, like 2 or 3 pages. But I don't mind if you write like half a page or 3/4 of a page, that's fine. Where you do 2 things. You perhaps expand on the concept that we ask you about. And the second part of the question would be to give examples from the relevant work. This is what I expect for you to get the highest mark possible in this part of the exam, the short answers. And like I said, you normally have 3, and you choose to write 2. You choose 2 short answers. Let me check if it's about the marks. It's 5, yeah, 5 marks assigned for each short answer. So if you're answering 2 and you're getting the full mark, it's going to be kind of 10 out of 10. And then you go to the essay questions where, like I said, you have 2 questions, possibly 3, and you choose to write on one. and one of them happens to be close reading. Again, and it's out of 20 marks. So you need to be you need to be very alert, because it's 20 marks that you're having for only one question. There is no such thing that I don't know. I don't know the answer, because you know a lot, and you've been showing this throughout. So it can happen, like in football, for example. Sometimes you have a player and it's not his or her day. Yeah, I know this happens, but not with you. Because you have knowledge, and you have more knowledge that you think you have. You have more knowledge than you give yourself or yourselves credit for. Make no mistake about it. Worst case scenario. So best case scenario is that you are in full control. You know the answer, you know how to write, you can develop a coherent, robust essay. This is what I'm hoping for. But let's talk about worst case scenarios where you go blank, where you don't think you understand the question very well, or perhaps you're not sure. I mean, somehow you don't think that you won't be doing as well as you wish. So in this case, should you keep the question empty or blank, and you don't attempt it? Of course not. Worst case scenarios, I would like you to still write, even if you write about the age. We don't have ages in this semester, and with those kinds of things, we don't have ages, but we have concepts and ideas. The bottom line would be that you don't leave the exam paper empty, whether on the level of the question. Sometimes you say, and it happened with me a couple of times, where you would have a good student, I wouldn't say excellent student, and she has left the exam totally empty. She only wrote her name and her ID number. This is not acceptable. If you have come that far, it means that you have knowledge. Use this knowledge. You either know and you're going to write very well, or you don't know, you still need to write. Again, you talk about, whatever. Talk about the author, for example. You talk about you talk in very general terms. But you don't have to be specific if you don't have this specificity, because you think you don't know. Again, bottom line, you don't leave a question unattempted. Okay. Correspondingly, and in the same breath, I don't expect you to write more questions than is required. So if we ask you in the short answers questions, we ask you to write only 2 questions, 2 short answers questions. You don't write 3. Because writing 3 is obviously wasting your time and your energies, and wasting my time. And it upsets me. And what do I normally do? I choose the first 2 questions, and if it's the short answers where you should be answering 2, but you're answering 3, I go and I do it in order. I mark the first and the second, and sometimes your third is your best. So of course I ignore the third one. I don't choose for you. If you give me more than I require, I don't choose for you. I don't choose your best. No, I go in order, 1 and 2, and that would be it. How about 3? I don't need it. It's not part of the exam. The same applies to the essay question. We're asking you to choose to write 1 essay. and you write 2. What do? I choose the first one, and I leave out the second one. Okay, the second one happens to be your best. I ignore it. I don't choose for you. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sure.
Yes,
Yes,
doctor.
doctor.
So again, I'm still saying that there is no such thing that I don't know. No, you know a lot. Okay, let's leave this part and move somewhere else. One of the questions is normally close reading, and close reading comes normally from either um, the other side of truth or from what's the name? Voices in the Park. And normally in Voices in the Park, it's about the coloring and the significance of the change of weather, and you're familiar with that. When it comes to the other side of truth, I mean, the themes that we spoke about, lots of themes can be the media, the impact of the media, can be parents' responsibilities and whether they live up to this responsibility or not, political persecution, agency. Remember when we spoke about child agency and how Shade is taking matters into her hands. And what is interesting about the close reading in EA300B is that when we give you a passage, we tell you what the theme is or what the idea is. Okay, so we don't ask you to read and determine what the theme or the topic is. No, we give you, I mean, normally the GCC gives the theme or the idea. So, and then you have the passage that tells you more about the theme. So when you write an essay on this close reading passage, you may use the passage. It can give you examples. You can use examples and you can back up your answer from the passage itself. So use the passage to your advantage. Okay, that's why normally when I see close reading passages, I advise people to attempt to try it. If the other question is not very clear, but I mean, normally it's very clear because we're not moving anywhere when we talk about the other side of truth, for example. It's very clear cut, talking about issues, and the issues overlap. Sometimes you find yourself talking about the media, but you cannot help not to talk about parental responsibility and how the father and even the mother may have failed those kids at one point by not calculating the risks, right? A novel is about that. Is about parents not calculating the risks that they go into, that they engage in, right? Um, so what else about the other side of truth? Spoke about. Yeah, somebody's raising her hand. Yeah, Nagwa, go ahead.
Doctor, I just wanted to ask my colleague's question. She said, does the picture in the example be colored or black and white?
Does the what?
The picture.
It should be colored.
Okay, thank you.
But if it's not colored, that's that's fine.
It's gonna be tough if it's not colored, doctor.
I'll tell you why um, it doesn't matter very much because you have already read the picture book and the picture book is not big, right?
Okay, gotcha.
And it's normally The characters can tell you about what color there is in the background, even if it's black and white. Remember when we talk about the kids, of course, you know, it's the beginning of life, it's fall and it's spring, I'm sorry, right? If we talk
Yeah.
about the mother, for example, you know what color you expect, right?
Yeah. So, doctor, can we still talk about the color even if it's black and white, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I
Perfect.
need a comprehensive answer. I need you to be very smart when you deal with questions. You can be generic, but in a smart way. I would like you to always start with a very small introduction, perhaps about the work, perhaps about the author. Very short and sweet. You don't spend your life talking about the author and about the work and leave the question. No, be very smart. Starting with talking about the piece of work or the novel wouldn't harm anyone, provided that you are short and sweet. Okay. Don't give me points for exam. You don't give me one, two, three. No, we don't have that. We need essays. Um, um, what else? When I shared with you videos about the other side of truth, did I share all the recordings of last semester?
I think in the Excel.
It's the Excel of last year, you mean? I don't know. Does it work? I don't know. If it's last year, I don't know whether it's. I keep sharing stuff on the WhatsApp group. Um, okay. Um, so we spoke about the other side of truth last time, if you still remember, right? And you have the fight. صح?
Yes, doctor.
طيب. Um, and I'll share also if I have a recording or something, I will share. What I'm trying to say that you guys have enough when it comes to the other side of truth. I told you that you're going to also read the articles, and I had clips from those articles. I cut them, and you have them. Again, the idea is clear. What we're talking about in the other side of truth, clear. I mean, the ideas they overlap. Media and the role of the media, like I said, political corruption, child agency. uh, and the essays, of course, Naidu, what she wanted to achieve, this idea of cultural literacy that we spoke about. Um, okay, طيب. How about the other two picture books? I shared the video. Have you seen this 17-minute video? You have the video, and you also have our recording on that. If you put them together, you have everything. The video also is very comprehensive because all what I did, I used AI to our advantage. What I did, I gave AI the file, and it changed into a documentary, a very beautiful documentary, like you have seen. So
Yes,
whether
I
you,
know everything.
yeah, I think it's very interesting. You can lazily, very lazily listen to it, and you can still enjoy it, and you can still feel that you're preparing and studying. I wish I could do that with the other side of truth, but I don't have time, and my subscription expired, so I need to renew it. Perhaps we can do it in the final exam, because we still have the other side of truth in the final exam. It comes in the final exam. Sorry. How much do we know about the other two picture books? Because we have spent, we have spent much time talking about them. Do you have any issues with the other two picture books? Again, the idea of interpretation is all over the place. When we talk about the tale of Peter Rabbit, if it's questions that that are open in terms of you giving your opinion, feel free to give your opinion, provided that you support it and back it up with evidence from the picture book. The same applies to Voices in the Park. Perhaps Voices in the Park is more complex in terms of the ideas and the issues, and you yourself said that it's better than the Tale of Peter Rabbit. You felt more at home with the Voices in the Park. Okay, let me ask if you guys have any questions. You have
Yes,
any?
Doctor.
Okay.
For Voices in the Park, there's only one article in the Red Reader, which is the postmodern experiment. Is it enough, along, of course, with your lectures?
Yeah, my lectures.
Yeah, along with the articles, so,
Yes,
because there's only one article. Is that
yes,
enough?
and the documentaries. Remember the documentary that we made, the AI created? Yeah, yes, that would be more than enough.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Yeah, Diala, go ahead.
Doctor, my question about yesterday quiz, there was a question I want to just to be sure about my answer. When Peter's mom gave him the tea, it was a kind of punishment?
We said that it's open to interpretation. I don't know what the answer is, because if it's an essay, I can say both. It can be a punishment, and it can be a mom caring so much for her kid and not leaving him to die, or regardless of his disobedience. So it depends on the perspective.
Okay, but what about yesterday? Because it was in our quiz.
I don't know. I
Can
don't
I
really
answer,
know.
Doctor? Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the
Let's agree on. I mean, those who scored 5 can tell us. If you have scored 5, it means that you have all of all what you have written is correct, right? Somebody can answer us if so. Those who have scored 5, who scored 5?
Can I answer, Doctor?
Did you score 5?
Yeah.
Okay, type. What did you say? What was the question? And tell us your answer, Yazar.
So the question was, can the chamomile tea be considered as a punishment or not? And the option was true or false. Because we have the word can, the answer was true, and it's actually written in the articles in the book. Because it's not saying is it a kind of punishment or not, it's saying can it be considered. And yes, it's written in the article that some critics thinks yes, it can be considered as a kind of punishment. So the answer would be true.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we spoke about that, and we said that it can't be a punishment, because look at Peter's sisters and what kind of food they were eating. So he was reduced to this kind of, I mean, the access to food obviously is not there, because he cannot eat, and the only thing that he can consume would be medicine. So So it is a punishment if you believe that um, that uh, he did what he did uh, not for a noble cause, for example. Remember, we said that he can be considered a freedom fighter, he can be considered somebody who is fighting the establishment, authority. Um, People are trying to control him, but he is trying to get out of their grips. In this case, um, it can be a reward because somebody is trying to help him recover. Um,
Yeah,
could
maybe
is
because he was
could
feeling unwell or something.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to say
Yes.
is that it's
Yeah,
you can
correct.
both you can I mean the two answers can be correct if you're writing about it. It depends on how you see it. You can consider it as punishment because he is disobeying. Okay. You can consider it reward if you think that he's a freedom fighter, for example. If you think that he has a cause that he was defending and advancing. Okay. So it is, according to the database, it is a punishment. It can be considered a punishment. Yeah, if you went with that, yeah, the answer is true. Mm. Yeah, meantime, yeah, Maram.
Yes, thank you, doctor. I just wanted to say that I would choose definitely punishment because the author have highlighted what his sister had to eat, blackberries and with bread and
Mhm.
etc. They had something that sounds delicious for a child. So the chamomile tea, he couldn't have what his sisters had. So the chamomile tea can definitely be seen as punishment.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. This is how we think about it. If you compare what he is consuming to what his sisters are eating, obviously.
But he
Uh,
was also full, doctor. He ate
what?
everything at the garden. He was full. He ate everything at the
Ah.
garden. I don't think he needs blackberry and breads.
Yeah, so I don't know whether you can look at this idea of
Yeah,
fullness.
even in the articles,
Mm,
it was two part. Like one part of critics thinks, yeah, it's kind of punishment, and the other
yes.
parts think no. So I think if we got a question like this, we might be able to write the two perspective of the critics that some think yes, some think no, and maybe at the end we can tell our opinion about it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That would be a
Great.
very nice way
Yeah,
of
because in the
putting it.
articles, it's actually the two perspective. When we read the articles about Peter Rabbit, it's the two are there, the yes and the no.
Yes, yes. Maadi, you're raising your hand.
Yes, I want to know what is the connection between the fantasy and reality?
That's a tall question. Where are you getting? I mean, I expect you to answer to kind of ask this question when we talk about. We have a third novel coming up. It's what's the name of the? It's Tom's Midnight Garden because it has a great deal of fantasy. Do we have fantasy in any of the works that we have done, except for the fact that you need to suspend your disbelief that Tom is a rabbit, and that the other characters in Voices in the Park are um, gorillas. This is the only thing this is the fantastic part, but we don't even refer to them as fantastic or fantastical in these picture books. We normally say that this is anthropomorphism, right? When we go to Tom's Midnight Garden, we're going to talk a great deal about the element of fantasy, because you will see Tom walking out of one of the rooms of her house and his house, and moving into a magical garden where it takes him 2 years back in time to the Victorian age. And then he stays there and he plays with one of the girls, and then at the end he discovers that it was all fantastical and it never existed. So we're going to keep this question until later, yeah, Maali. Unless you are studying backwards. You started off perhaps with Tom's Midnight Garden. Are you doing the course for the second time ولا حاجة؟ يا
No.
معالي. Okay. I think you sent me an email asking about the recording, right? Recordings.
Yeah. I
Okay.
did me.
What? Did you find them?
No.
Oh, how can we help her with the recording? Aren't you part of that? Remember, we added you to the WhatsApp group last time.
Yeah, I
صح؟
am the WhatsApp group. Yes.
طب can somebody refer her to the links؟ حد يجمعهم لها ويبعتهم على الجروب re-forwarding؟
Yes, please.
حد يقدر يعمل كده؟ يتطوع يعني وياخد
I will do it.
حسنات. نجوى هتساعدك يا معالي. دي معانا في
Actually,
الواتساب جروب.
Doctor,
نعم.
في application اسمها OneDrive. If she can upload it and just sign in with her university email, she will have all the lectures that she has attended there. All of
وبيفتحوا؟
them. Yeah, بيفتحوا. اسمه OneDrive، بس تتحمله وتدخل باليونيفرسيتي ايميل، وكل اللكتشرز اللي تحضرهم هي مسجلة المواد already بينزلوا عندها.
ايه رأيك يا معالي في الحل ده؟
It's OneDrive. It's OneDrive application.
ايه رأيك؟
Okay, I will do it.
طيب. in case حصل حاجة you can always يعني تندهي علينا في الواتساب جروب ونساعدك إن شاء الله.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, if you have any questions خلينا نجاوب ونشوف ونتناقش. طيب النهارده ايه؟ It's Thursday. Should I give you some scope some time? Perhaps if you would like me to meet with you again tomorrow. But I don't think we need يعني that لأنه I know that you have studied the material in and out, and all you need to do is to go over your notes. And again, we're not expecting people to memorize stuff. If you're worried about memorizing, you don't memorize. We don't memorize stuff. Okay? You come up with a synthesis. Synthesis إنك تاخد ideas من هنا ومن هنا you come up with your own. Okay? So don't worry about this idea of memorizing. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt as much as I can. I mean, I know that you know and you know a lot, and you don't have to worry about marking and stuff. But do what you're supposed to do and leave the rest. Yani to us or for us. Any questions? Procedural. Of course, you know that the midterm is at the university. You'll have to come to the university. And the timetable is already on the website. I don't know. What else do you think you need? Go over the material today. Let's make this commitment to each other. Go over the material and let me know if you think you would like to meet me perhaps for half an hour tomorrow or something where we can perhaps expand on ideas. That's fine by me. But you have to do your homework. You need to finish first, and then we talk. look at the recordings, listen to them, skim through the notes that you have taken, and inshallah you'll be doing an excellent job and you're going to make me proud. في أسئلة تانية؟ في أي concerns that I can dismiss? مريم رضوان. فازة، براء، إسراء، روان، أي حد يا جماعة عنده مشاكل؟ فاطمة بلال.
Okay.
فاطمة بلال.
No, doctor, thanks.
No, thank you, Dutch.
خلاص, if you again I'll be around if you need any support of any kind. I'll be around inshallah. طيب.
Thank you so much, Dr.
You're welcome. يلا, on this note and with this item come to the end, to the part that we're supposed to finish before the mid.
No, thank you, doctor.
على طول on Monday. We don't have a problem on Monday. صح? One more thing, the second quiz is going to be on campus and it's going to be on the 7th, July 7th. ماشي؟ الساعة 12.
But don't you think it's a little after the mid? Like, can you push it a little bit?
لا, ما هو للأسف عشان هيتصادف إنه مع إن شاء الله الميك اب بتاع الميد where we can have people monitoring you. احنا المشكلة ما عندناش ناس في الصيف to monitor you, فمستغلين فكرة إنه في ميك اب يعني. الحاجة التانية I'll tell you احنا ممكن نعمله ببساطة. هنعمله في ايه؟ هنعمله في the other side of truth. I need to check. أكيد مش هنعمله في حاجة جديدة. Okay. فأنتوا you will have already done the MTA وعندك معلومات, ما عندكيش مشكلة.
دكتور
في ميك اب للكويز 2.
نعم؟
في ميك اب لكويز 2.
لا, ما فيش وقت.
طيب, شكرا.
دكتور
دكتور يعني هيصادف واحد محرم؟
مش عارف هصادف في ايه والله.
دكتور الأسبوع القادم حيكون في lectures مع الميدترم، لأنه إحنا يوم الثلاثاء عنا الأدب الأطفال بارت 1 وأصلا في عنا محاضرة مع حضرتك، فكيف حيكون الوضع؟
احنا عندنا الاثنين, هناخد الاثنين والثلاث ممكن أعفيكم الثلاث.
تمام, شكرا دكتور.
طيب يلا, نشوفكم على خير إن شاء الله.
Doctor,
Yes, go ahead.
for the quiz 2, from 12 to p.m.
من هو بيبقى مدته ساعة واحدة يعني من 12 ل 1.
Oh, okay.
يلا.
Thank you, doctor.
باي باي. السلام عليكم.
يعطيك العافية دكتور. ادعي لنا.
Thank you so much.
ربنا معاكم إن شاء الله.